for. Zeina Khodr is in Beirut for us. We've seen these Israeli attacks on Lebanon regularly in the last year since the ceasefire was agreed. But is this latest one related to what's happening in Iran right now, Zeina?
Well, it is not being seen as an isolated incident. The timing, roughly an hour before the Israeli military carried out what it called preventative strikes in Tehran, the Israeli Air Force carrying out a series of attacks in southern Lebanon in the Iqlim al-Tufah region. This is a mountainous region, a very strategic region in southern Lebanon. Yes, they've hit it time and time again over the past year or so, despite that ceasefire. But like I said, in the past few days, there's been an escalation, a pattern of escalation. On Thursday night, for example, the Israeli army carried out a wave of airstrikes in the east of the country in the Bekaa area, an area where the Israeli military believes is the operational base of Hezbollah, a place where Hezbollah keeps its strategic weapons, whether they are long-range weapons, precision-guided weapons, drone manufacturing facilities, weapons depots, and it believes Iqlim al-Tufah also is where Hezbollah has strategic weapons. So this escalation of attacks really has caused a lot of concern in Lebanon that the country could be dragged into a potential conflict, which is now happening between Israel, Iran, and the United States, because Hezbollah, being Iran's strategic and ideological ally. So these attacks are being seen as preventive attacks to limit the possibility of Hezbollah responding if it chooses to do so, because that in itself is another question.
Zeina, of course, Hezbollah has been considerably weakened since its conflict with Israel. How might it respond? Will it get involved if there's a prolonged conflict between Tehran, Iran, and Israel and the U.S.?
Yes, it has been a question on everyone's minds in Lebanon. Even Lebanon's top political leadership has been repeating time and time again, warning Hezbollah not to launch what it is calling a new adventure and drag the country into another conflict. But you said, and you pointed out, how Hezbollah has been badly weakened, suffering major blows in the last year or so. Israeli attacks continue against its leadership, against its weapons depots. And, you know, it's a very difficult decision for Hezbollah to get involved. Israeli intelligence assessments say that they believe Hezbollah still has an arsenal of missiles that it is able to use, but they will not pose any existential threat to Israel, a much more superior army. And Hezbollah also knows that if it does get involved in this conflict, it could trigger a harsh response by the Israeli army and its people, its constituency, its supporters. They will pay the price. Israel could carry out dozens of airstrikes in Beirut's southern suburbs, causing even more devastation, causing more displacement. There are still tens of thousands displaced by the late 2024 conflict. So very difficult decisions. A few weeks ago, Hezbollah's Secretary General said, and he was speaking during an event in solidarity with Iran, he said, as far as how we would act, those are the details. The battle itself will determine. We are expecting to hear from Hezbollah Secretary General in a few hours' time. This was a scheduled address, but no doubt he will have to comment on the latest developments and the strikes on Iran.